Welcome back to another Dylan Does tutorial. So we've already looked at vectors and vector functions. So now we're going to look at manipulating vectors using indexes and logical variables. So continue our Greg Maddux kind of analysis. We want to look at individual individual indexes or individual years or individual ages where Greg Maddux had performance. So in order to do this, we simply need to isolate the specific indexes we want to use. So in, for instance, win percentage, there's 23 indexes. In war, there's 23 indexes. So let's take a look at it. We can simply use the combine with brackets. So by bracketing, say combine 1, 2, and 5, we can get the war for his first season, his second season, and his fifth season. So, as you can see, his war in the first season was 0.3, the second season was 1.4, and then the fifth season was 5.2. There's other ways that you can do this, though. So I'm actually going to change this. I'm actually going to do it again, because I kind of want to look at what the arbitration years would be. So here's his war for each of the first 6 years of his playing career. He actually was very consistent in outperforming each year after year. But it's kind of annoying to have to write the 1, 2, 3, 4 all with commas. So what you can actually do is similar to our sequence, would do the war, get your index using the brackets, and just write 1:6 like we did for a sequence. And then as you can see, it outputs the same thing. Another way would be to do war, get your index, combine 1 through 6. So it really kind of is a matter of preference, but as you can see, they all output the exact same data. Now, sometimes you have to extract or remove indexes, maybe clean a data set. So I'm going to create a new variable called war copy. And we're going to assign this as a replication of war. And the replication is REP, not RE. And as you can see, we have created a war copy that is the exact same vector as war. So let's look at war. And let's look at war copy. And it's the same thing. So maybe we want to subtract the last, I don't know, years. Or actually, let's subtract the first years. It'll be easier. We simply do war copy. And then you're going to use this minus indicator on your combine. So you're minus the combine. Or in other words, taking away 1 through 6. And actually, I want to make sure that this is bracketed because we're working with the index. And as you can see, we have taken away his first 6 years. And really, that's all you need to know, is that if you want to remove an index, just simply isolate the indexes, and you can subtract away or remove them from a vector. So that's useful, but how do you isolate certain vectors or certain indexes in a vector? Well, what you can actually do is I'm actually going to move this up. Actually, we'll keep on going. I was going to move this stuff back up to the top because I kind of was working in the script, but now I was working in the console, and it's kind of weird, kind of just inconsistent. But we'll continue by, I'll just use copy in what I had done. There we go. So that's what we've done so far. Now I just want to remove this war copy. I don't need it anymore. And so as you can see, the RM and your value that you want to remove is gone. So we need to figure out a way that we can isolate different indexes. And it's similar to SQL. So we want to isolate a war, or a value from the war vector. And maybe we want to isolate when the values are above 6. So 6 war is a lot. Let's see when Greg Maddux had above a 6 war. Control Enter, and you can see that you get this logical vector, this logical indicator. The output's essentially Boolean. So we can look in his first year, his second year, his third year, his fourth year, his sixth year. He never ever had a war above 6. But in his 7th year, through his 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th year, he consistently had wars above 6. So we can build on this. Maybe, let's see what wars he had when he was above age, or he won above 6 war, and when his age was greater than 25. So as you can see, it wasn't actually very useful because I didn't go high enough. Let's make it 30. There we go. So now you see that because the 30 was not satisfied, these remain false. Whereas before, when his age was above 25 and his war was above 6, it was still true. But it's not really useful because you just have these Boolean variables and it doesn't really tell you anything. So what you can actually relate this back to is, say, his age or a year. So we can do year, isolate the index, and we'll copy this in and Control Enter. And as you can see, the years that he had above a 6 war and he was above 30 was 97, 98, 2000, 2001. Let's check out what his age was. He was 31, 32, 34, and 35. So this is really when it starts to get useful, is when you start creating logical vectors and nest them into another vector. So here's another problem. Let's find his max war. So we want to do war is equal to max, which is a function of r, again another useful function, max war. Control Enter, we get this stupid logical Boolean thing, and we can see that, I don't know, like 10 indexes in, we get this true value. So now let's relate that back to a year again. So we're just going to copy this line. We're going to go year, press Enter, and you can see that in 1995 he had his highest war. Let's find out what age he was. He was 29, and yeah, that's really all you need to know. We could probably find out what his max war was, the number, but quite honestly I forget how to do that. So we will stop right here and I will sign off for now, but really that's just how to find and manipulate vectors and their indexes for when you get into more complex codes, when you need to isolate certain indices. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good one.